I have to admit, my mother-in-law and I don't always see eye to eye on much, but there is one thing that she pointed out recently that I totally agree with. Hi, I'm Ava, a wife, a mother, an accountant, and yes, a homeowner. My husband and I bought our house about 10 years ago, and we never really thought much about the air temperature in one of our back bedrooms, or the all-season room that we added on about 5 years ago. But now, my mother-in-law, she comes into town a few times a year, and she sleeps in that bedroom and plays with the kids in the all-season playroom. She complains that they're both too hot in the summer and too cold in the winter, and I hate to admit it, but she's right. So my husband tried adjusting various air vents and dampers, but that made things worse in other parts of the house, sort of like the game of whack-a-mole, and at its best was not going to satisfy his mother. Plus, we have no air ducts in the all-season room, so we were stuck. Next, we tried electric heaters in the winter, but she thought they were unsafe with the kids. Right again, and they would get too hot at times. When it came to summer, we put a window air conditioner in the back bedroom, and it wasn't a cheapo either, but it was too noisy for her to sleep, and it got too cold in the middle of the night. At this point, we didn't know what to do, and one day I was talking about it to a neighbor who had a very similar problem. She told me to call Mr. Quik.
Well, Eva, I actually have some good news for you. Have you ever heard of a mini split? Well, a mini split is a state-of-the-art system specifically designed to eliminate hot and cold spots in areas like upstairs bedrooms, room additions, man caves, and garages. They are easy to install and maintain, extremely quiet for your mother-in-law, super energy efficient, and don't require any ductwork.
If there are any air ducts, does it have to go in the window?
No. Let me explain how they work. The mini split has two main components: a small, very efficient outdoor unit called a condenser, and an indoor air handling unit for each of your two rooms. There's a conduit, which is only about 3 inches in diameter, that runs from the outside unit to each of the two small air handling units. The conduit has all the power cables, refrigerant tubing, suction tubing, and stuff that links the outdoor and indoor units together. So no, nothing hangs out the window or is stuck like a room heater in the middle of the floor. I recommend a mini split system manufactured by Daikin. Daikin is the world's largest manufacturer of heating and cooling systems. Their technology is about 10 to 15 years ahead of the traditional split systems primarily used in the US today. I mentioned Daikin by name because they perfected what is called the variable speed inverter compressor technology. Am I giving you too much information?
No, go ahead.
Variable speed means that the entire system runs at a low speed most of the time. It ramps up like a dimmer switch when needed, which conserves between 30 and 50% of the energy consumed by a conventional air conditioner. In fact, the entire unit uses about the same amount of energy as a couple of incandescent light bulbs.
Well, that sounds simple enough.
And there are a couple of additional advantages I want to point out. First, they're small and flexible and designed for heating and cooling individual rooms. In your case, we're talking about 2 rooms. Each room will have its own thermostat, so you can control the temperature for that individual space. And finally, they're whisper quiet, something your mother will definitely appreciate.
Wow. I had no idea technology like this even existed.
Well, actually, you may have seen similar systems like this in modern hotels, but what I'm recommending for you is designed for residential use.
Yeah, I remember seeing something like that in a fancy condo we rented in Florida.
And who does the installation is important too. According to the US Department of Energy, up to 90% of residential heating and cooling systems have performance compromising faults because they're not installed or maintained correctly. That's right, 90%. So experience matters. And we've been designing and installing Daikin mini split systems for over a decade. Plus, we're Daikin factory authorized and trained, licensed and insured. We have national certified technicians that have passed background and safety checks. We provide service documentation. We clean up when we're done. And Mr. Quik has a 100% satisfaction guarantee.
You guys check all the boxes.
If you're interested in hearing more about a ductless mini split system that can heat and cool individual rooms, save you money and energy costs, and satisfy your mother-in-law, then it's time for Mr. Quik.
Call Mr. Quik.
Dial the number, spell the words.
For on time.